Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. A little impromptu here. We're going to be talking about, I want to say the Pride. That's the evil group with the Runaways. So the Runaways on Hulu. It's interesting, helpful. It's helpful. They only drop 3 episodes at a time. I don't know how many episodes there's going to be. I don't care to look it up. It doesn't bother me. The idea there's only 3 episodes was actually kind of cool. My wife and I watched it yesterday. I should have done this review yesterday. I wasn't feeling good. Whatever happens, right? Sometimes you're just not feeling right. So I'm watching these 3 episodes with my wife. We're out in the living room watching it. We had to grab this stuff. Hey, Doug, what's up? Sorry, brother. Um, Anyway, we're sitting down watching this, and like I never had Hulu before. You know what I'm saying? Never had it. Plus, I'm in Canada. Anybody who's in Canada knows it is very hard to get Hulu in Canada. Like I had to go through a process. I had the credit card out and everything. I'm sitting there trying to go. Like, dude, stop being a butt. Let me get the Hulu. At the same time, they give you more options. Than Netflix does, which is kind of cool. And my wife is all just sort of like, oh, for crying out loud, why can't it just be on Netflix? I've already grown addicted to Netflix. I'm like, I know. I guess this is the way of kind of spreading the wealth. Now, this isn't an advertisement for Hulu, but I will say this show was definitely good enough that we're going to keep Hulu for a little while. Yeah, just because. I know they got some WWE program on in there where it's a lot shortened, so 3 hours of Raw condensed to like, what is it, an hour and a half or so? I'm down for that. So this show here, this Runaway show, the first 3 episodes, I did. First off, I'm going to tell you, I already did a spotlight on story. This, if you're new to the channel, I like to do what's called a spotlight on story, where I will take a certain comic book, preferably an arc of comic books, or at the very least a graphic novel trade paperback of comic books, and go over them, review them. All right? And there were 18 issues of the first volume of Runaways, and it is just such an incredible book that when they said they're going to do the Runaways, I gotta admit, I was a little scared. What's up, Raven? And I'll get to chat questions in a moment. But I was generally a little bit scared. I'm like, how are you going to do this? How are you going to do this? Because listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing that DC fans don't like. All right, DC Comics fans. I know this is all Marvel, right? But DC fans don't like it when you insult their movies because they're like, mind you, I'm a comic book fan. I'm not a DC fan, not a Marvel fan. I'm a comic book fan. So I have no problem commenting on whatever. You know, saying like, oh, this was good. This was good. This was not so good. This actually sucked. So you can't, DC fans are very privileged in the sense that everything that DC does is gold, except their movies. Their movies are very hit or miss, and for a while, it was all miss. So there's that. And it's really just with the expanded universe. They've ruled the movies before they start this expanded universe thing. Nobody ever questioned their movies, and all of a sudden it's like, not so great. So, that's Occupied Games. I like that. I'm digging that. Oh, you just saw Justice League tonight. Awesome. We can talk about that, Doug. But so with the Marvel movies, it's always been a thing where like, wow, it's all good. It's all good. And then the Inhumans came out. See, this is the thing I'm talking about with the DC fans, right? If you insult one thing with DC super fans, that's another word for fanboy, but I don't usually like to use that term. Usually people just freak out. Oh, don't insult my stuff. Listen, Marvel fans, all right? I think that Marvel fans are even more used to the privilege of everything ruling. But at the same time, for some reason, Marvel fans are more apt to just accepting that something wasn't good. So with the Inhumans, nobody has a problem saying it sucks. And what happened to Marvel? It's things like that. And as a comic book purveyor, I have no problems looking at everything and just saying what's good and what's bad. Now, why do I bring up the Inhumans? Because the Inhumans had 2 really good actors in it. And I'd like to say there was a third really good actor in this, and that's Triton, but he was only in like 2.5 episodes, and his makeup was horrible. So it's hard to really see, but his acting shone through, the choreography was great. Wow. But aside from that, Serinda Swan and Anston Mount as Medusa and Black Bolt, respectively, blew the show away. The problem is everything else in the show needed to be blown away. Black Bolt just needed to say, no more Inhumans. Just Scarlet Witch these guys, because it was horrible. The acting, like, there was a lot of things wrong with it, the budget, everything, but like the acting alone was horrible. I was really disappointed in Ewan Rion, who played one of the bastards in Game of Thrones. So then when they say, oh yeah, we're going to make a Runaways TV series, I'm like, whoa. You couldn't get adult actors to play their roles good. And now you're going to turn around and you're going to give me a bunch of kids who are going to be playing these roles in what is probably one of the most heartwarming comic books out there. And you're going to give me a bunch of kids trying to play this stuff? No, this is not going to be good. But the casting was great. The makeup and all that stuff was great. Like, what can I complain about as far as how these guys looked? I could complain that Chase Stein doesn't have the long blonde hair, yellow in the comic books, but you know what I mean. The long blonde hair that we're used to seeing in the comics, even to this day, right? I got over that really quick. I literally made the comment to my wife. I was like, yeah, in the comics, he would have long blonde hair. She's like, oh, okay. And I had nothing else negative to say about the movie, the series. Nothing else. Now, that's how good this was. But on top of that, these kids, holy crap, every single one of them need a freaking Emmy. I'm not exaggerating. These kids were perfect. Look, when we watch Stranger Things, we're like, this is awesome, but everything there is just a bunch of... sorry, I know there's going to be a bunch of Stranger fans, Stranger fans. Yeah, okay, I'm going to stick with that. The Stranger Things fans are going to be called Stranger fans, and these guys just want to throttle me right now, right? Okay, look, put aside your latent passive-aggressiveness nature and just simply listen to what I got to say. When you have a bunch of kids that young, all they really have to do is overact. It's like the Goonies, and stuff like that. Everything's just got to be melodramatic, right? But with this, you're talking about teenagers in high school, and they're dealing with all the angsty, emo-y stuff, especially when you talk about Nico, and if she heard me say that, she would kill me. But, like, oh my God. These kids were perfect. These kids were perfect. The acting was 100% believable, and the show was validated just on that alone. There wasn't a whole lot that they needed to do with graphics until you get to Old Lace. That's the dinosaur. Yeah. Do I have the picture of her in there? Yes, right there. Gertrude York with Old Lace, the raptor, the modified Velociraptor. Oh my God. We got in the tail end of the third episode. Remember, they only dropped 3. So the next 3 will come out the following Tuesday, which is just, it's so easy to catch up then. Literally, it doesn't matter. Like, I binged watched all 3 when they came out with my wife. I'm like, bam, here we go. Boom, go. And we watched it. If you wait until Monday night to watch the 3 episodes, you're already caught up with me. That's what's so great about this. I have the Constitution. I could stay up and I could watch 13 episodes of The Punisher on Netflix and just, and do video reviews afterwards, and then go see the Justice League, and then just crash afterwards, you know what I'm saying? But with this, it's 3 episodes. It's moderate. Keep you coming back. That's pretty cool. So I will be keeping Hulu for the foreseeable future at least. And I hope that this gives Hulu the intention to purchase more movie rights from Marvel and this, rent them, whatever. Because I do want to see more of the Runaways. I would like to also see what else they could do. I heard that there's problems on Freeform with Cloak and Dagger. Well, guess what? Cloak and Dagger were in the first volume of the Runaways. So maybe, all right, let's Hulu it. Like, oh my God, this is gorgeous. This is amazing. I fell in love with this TV series. It was that good. I'm going to get to the comments in a little while and see what everybody else say. There might be people on there. Professor Bill, you lost your marbles. This TV series sucks. But what I'm imagining is that most people haven't seen it yet because it's on Hulu. I don't know anybody who's got Hulu. But then again, I'm in Canada. So it's, like I said, it's really difficult to get Hulu up here. But you go through the process. It's like a 3-step process. I found some wiki, guide page. And I did it. I'm good. I'm validated. I'm watching it. Oh, it's difficult. But anyway, it involves my PS3. I'm just going to say that. So, wow, man. Look, the series diverged. Okay, at first it's very clear, like, oh my god, yes, everything's perfect. These guys are awesome, but the series does diverge a little bit. First off, can we call it cultural appropriation that Molly Hayes is not Molly Hayes? She's Molly Hernandez. Or do I even care if there's cultural appropriation or not? Can we actually kill that word since we're pretty much done with it, right? It had its good month-long run. We're done now, all right? You got a good attack on Iron Fist in the Netflix series, and now you can go away, word. Term, we don't need you anymore, all right? Molly Hayes is a Latina in this one. She is Molly Hernandez. On top of that, her parents died in a fire. That's actually kind of funny. I know you're thinking what, but if you read Nico Minoru, and I just by the way, guys, in the description below, I just put it in. Nico Minoru explained in a moment, and Carolina Dean explained in a minute. So you can actually go and look up those two. And on Saturday, I'll do somebody else. I'm actually thinking about doing Chase Stein. And the last person I'll probably do is Alex Wilder. And if you've read the first volume, you know why I'm going to do him late, because no spoilers. Okay. At the same time, like oh my God, I fell in love with Gertrude Yorks, who you see on there, you know, and they really treated her right in this, except that she's not as annoying as she is in the comic. See, in the comic, you remember everything was just, boring. Oh God, kill me now. Oh God, gag me with a spoon. And I don't think she actually ever said gag me with a spoon, but you know that would fit. She's not as emotive and just, you know, hates the world as possible here. Instead, here she's more of a women's lib activist. And that's cool because it actually fits really well. She actually goes on to the whole misogyny stereotype rants against Chase, which is great because in here they actually show that she likes him. You had no idea she liked Chase in the comics until they actually started getting with each other. So this was interesting. And my wife's all like, oh my God, she's crushing so hard. I was like, is it that obvious? Is it that obvious? Because you could not tell in the comic books, you know? But like, my wife liked it. And my wife never sits down and watches comic book stuff. When I start going on a rant about nerdy comic book stuff, she's like, are you going to use this for your channel? She's like, okay. I was like, yeah, I am. She's like, okay, good, then I'll listen because it's going to help you with whatever you're going to do. Obviously, I'm just sorting out my thoughts, you know? Aside from that, she mostly doesn't care about most of what happens in the comic books. You know, so she doesn't really care too much about that. She likes the Black Panther. There's that. But aside from Black Panther, she doesn't really like too much of, you know, what happens in the comic book. She doesn't read it. She doesn't, nothing, you know? But she loved this. You know, she didn't like Defenders because it's like, Daredevil was nice to her, or nice for her, but she didn't really watch the second season. The first season of Jessica Jones, she's like, nope, this is too intense. So, but she did also like Luke Cage. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? But because it was more like a history lesson of Harlem, which is cool. She's never been, you know. So, but you know, like. That's the thing. Here's this person who doesn't like comics very much, and she's engaged in this. She's genuinely asking me, okay, so what's her deal? Okay, what's up with him? Okay, who's this guy? And it's like, okay, do you want the comic book reference or what's going on here? She was really invested in this, and it did my heart well. There's hope for her yet. So, yeah, I enjoyed this. I don't know how anybody could really not enjoy this. This was so good. They did change up enough too. And here's the thing. I know there are certain comic purists out there who are going to go, oh, they changed some things and I don't like they changed things. Why are they changing things? Look, they changed things. And the things that they changed mostly involved the pride, okay, the parents of these characters. And the purpose of this, I can already see, is so they can make this first season longer and break into a second season still involved with the first. So let me explain that. They have more story by changing what they change. If you've seen this, you're probably like, okay, no, that wasn't the case in the house. Whoa, these two are having an affair? What's going on here? Whoa, this one's not an actress, but her husband is? What's going on here? What's this Church of the Gibberim? What is this stuff? Like, no, there wasn't a church to the Gibberim. They're just elder gods who was being, worshipped in the last elder gods in the Marvel Universe's creation, basically. And just, yes, you're right. But these changes make it so good. Oh, man, they make it so good. So there's a Church of the Gibberim. We don't really know the details of what's going on with this, okay? But Molly Hayes' mom is involved, all right? Her dad is still an actor, as opposed to her also being an actress. I don't want to go into too much with this because there wasn't a reveal yet. Okay, so I'm not going to get into spoilers past what actually happened in the show. They do so much with this. They change just enough. Oh, and Destiny Gonzalez was in it too. If I'm sure most people just like his name sounds familiar. If you read the comics, in issue 6, they finally revealed the name of the girl who was sacrificed. All right, and the sacrifice was different too. The sacrifice was different because what was his name? Chase Stein's dad, Dr. Stein. First off, he's a nerd in this, but he's a really big nerd. He's like a big tough guy nerd, which is interesting because he's just a total geek. You know, he like punches his son and he abuses his son. He abuses Chase all the time in the comic books, but in here, you know, it would actually hurt if he did it. So there's that. But anyway, these guys, oh man. Chase's dad has to make this device that somehow teleports the person over there. So I think that this is supposed to be used in the ritual of thunder. All right, it's like kind of combining the ritual of blood and the ritual of thunder together. If you don't remember from the comic books, what this is the ritual of blood is when they take the ceremonial dagger and they kill the intended victim. So then they have to do the ritual, the rite. They're actually called rite instead of ritual, whatever. It's a synonym. They use the rite of thunder to actually send the body there. This looks like it's kind of combining everything. And the way that they're able to get these bodies, as opposed to just, snatching them off the street, well, they still do snatch them off the street in a way. It's basically members of the Church of the Gibberim. So that's sick. They pull people in, they initiate them. It's like, oh, you're going to go ultra. You're going to go into the higher realm. Yeah, literally. You're going to be sacrificed to an elder god. That's nuts. And they haven't even gotten to who or what the Gibberim are yet in these first 3 episodes. It's nuts. Guys, it's nuts. A lot of the mystery is dumbed down. Instead, there's more drama in this. And let's just be honest. When we're talking about a series with teenagers, why would you ever substitute mystery with drama? You know what I'm saying? Drama is the best way to go with the teens. This isn't like a Vampire Academy or not True Blood, whatever some of those teeny bopper shows are. You know what I'm saying? That I know it's really demeaning saying that. It's very dismissive, and I apologize. But like at my age, I don't get into shows like that. You know what I'm saying? I've never really gotten into the whole, like Beverly Hills 90210 stuff. Never got into that stuff, But this does blend a good amount of that into a really compelling story where these kids are trying to figure out about their parents because it turns out that the parents are freaking evil. And they're more evil in many ways than they are here, but they have remorse. And they're like, oh man. And something else happens in here, which is very interesting. They say, since somebody screwed up, it's Chase Stein's dad. Since Dr. Stein screwed up, we're going to have to do another sacrifice. Oh, no. And Alex's dad, Alex Wilder's dad, Mr. Wilder, he's a little impressive in this. He's a former gangster. Like, he was actually on the streets. He did jail time. Like, well, not in the comics. In here, yeah, he did some jail time, and he's got these hood friends who are trying to extort him. And it's funny because they do, but in a very different way, which I didn't see coming. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be bad. This is going to be really bad. And it's funny because they give you a certain portrayal up front, and it turns out that it's not what they gave you. It's not what you thought they gave you. It's kind of like the whole bait and switch. In the very beginning, when you see those two, I guess Latinos, whatever, I thought they were Mexican by the pronunciation of their Spanish. But, and no, I'm not fluent. I have just enough to try and place where people are from. I placed someone from the Dominican not too long ago. I was really proud of myself. Nonetheless, what do you call it? Yeah, these two Latinos, they were like, oh, hey, lady, and they're talking in Spanish and they're not giving us the translation. And they're, she's all like, oh my God, no, get away. And they're trying to grab her, and you're thinking, oh, they're going to try and pull her away, and they're going to try and do some, very dastardly deeds to her, right? Nope, not the case. They were actually trying to get her off the streets because kids her age are disappearing off the streets. And all of a sudden, the van of the Church of the Gibberim shows up. And we're like, what's this? This is the very first scene in the first episode. And they're like, "Oh, it's okay, honey. Come, come." They like tase the two Latino guys. They pull her. "Oh, come on, get on. No, it's okay. Don't worry. You're safe. You're safe. You're safe with us." And they look wholesome. They look like they're the people you could trust. And meanwhile, the two Latino guys are laying there like, she would have been safer with us. And it's like, yes, she absolutely would have. Holy crap! And that's Destiny Gonzalez, as you find out later. This show really had me like I was engaged. As tired as, my wife and I both were, like after, finally putting the kids to sleep and they're sick. So trying to put them to sleep while they're sick, how difficult that could be. We were tired, but I put it on and we were engaged all 3 episodes. It was that good. This was really good, guys. I cannot help but to highly recommend these 3 episodes. Get them while they're hot, because guess what? The next 3 episodes are going to drop on Tuesday, and you better believe I'm going to be there. And I'll try not to wait a day to do that review. Okay, let's get to some of these questions up in here. Some of these, whatever. Let's see if I'm being attacked. So, Doug. Doug, you saw Justice League. Awesome. Desmond's like, it sucked. Here's the thing. I know I gave it a bad review, but I didn't give it a bad review because it sucked in and of itself. I gave it a bad review, and I tried to explain this. Apparently, I didn't explain well enough. That's on me. I don't think that it sucked. I think that it wasn't deserved. And I know I used the term, but I don't think I really explained that enough. Justice League didn't suck to me. Justice League wasn't earned. All right? The whole, falling in love with Superman and oh my God, we all miss Superman. People were rallying for his death the last time we saw him in BVS. They were rallying for him to get off our planet, go away, except for that one little area in South America where they were worshiping him, the touching, we want to touch the hem of your cape stuff. That was just really weird. But everything else was, no, they had a Senate hearing to see if they were going to get rid of somebody in Congress. Yeah, it had to have been Senate. House of Representatives doesn't do that. So, yeah, they're like, dude, are you kidding me? Nobody liked Superman. And all of a sudden, everybody's like, we're lost without Superman. A world without Superman. Dude, shut up. Shut up. Just stop. Shut up. They missed a movie in between. They should have had another movie in between. And not in between BVS and Justice League. No. In between before they fought Doomsday and after they fought Doomsday. They should have had a movie in between there. That's what they should have done. So this way I feel like they actually did miss Superman. So they realized that they made some kind of mistake. His sacrifice, who even saw his sacrifice? I didn't see any reporters. So it was just one of those kind of things where it's like, no, sorry, I'm not buying it. I didn't feel it. Not at all. And yes, I know that Lois Lane was there. She doesn't count. That's biased. Everybody knows that she was into Superman. Anyway, so I just don't feel that it was really deserved. Any of that stuff that happened in there was earned. Okay, the Occupy comic book is coming from H4H4H, I think. Don't listen to me. I'd much rather listen to you. Okay, brother. Desmond, Runaways so far is great. Wish they would put out all of the episodes. I hear you on that, but it's a good way to keep people invested in Hulu. Because let's be realistic. If they had Hulu, it'd be like, okay, here's all the episodes, binge watch them, and then what do you call it? They're gonna, it's like, okay, you got it for a month anyways. Am I gonna really watch anything? Maybe I'll look at something, whatever. But by doing 3 episodes at a time, you're going to have to keep it for longer than a month. We're going to have to keep it for longer than a month now, right? But so on top of that, now it's going to be one of those things where it's like, okay, since I got to keep it anyway, let's see what else is on. And then pretty soon you're just like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool. They advertise big Will and Grace and stuff like that. And I didn't actually look into it, but I wonder, is Will and Grace actually still on TV? Because I think it is. I heard something, recently, and I never watched it before, but this is the way I feel about it. If Hulu is saving TV shows that people like, but they aren't, anything more than just in syndication on regular TV anymore, and they're, on cable networks, and they're just, not putting out those episodes anymore. I know Will and Grace had a huge following. So if that's the case, I know that Netflix was talking about trying to save Firefly and Jericho and some other TV show that I wasn't interested in. Firefly and Jericho, very interesting. In fact, my wife likes Firefly more than I do, which is weird, but whatevs, man. Maybe I'll have her read a comic book of Firefly. I could do that. No force in the verse. That's one of them. But if that's the case, then that's actually going to be a really good thing because you're talking about now TV shows can be syndicated further. And let's be realistic, cable is a dying medium. I don't own cable TV. I don't have a 75 ohm cable coming into my home. I don't feel the need to have cable. Everything I need is internet ready. So there's that. So yeah, anything that helps to kind of shoo away that, I'm good with it. Uh, Love the series so far. Saying Quad 92. Yeah, I agree with you. This is really good. Doug, yeah, that sounds good model to contrasting the dropping 9, 10, 15 episodes at once. Yeah, it's doable. It makes it feel doable. It's not just one episode a week because I don't like to be tied to a TV like that. But if you're just going to drop the episodes and you've got the whole week to watch them before you get behind, that's great. I can watch one episode, come back to it later. I don't like the idea, like when I review Agents of Shield and The Gifted, and when I was doing for any TV show that I'm going to review, always superhero related. It's one of those things where it's like I hate being beholden to the TV. That's why I don't watch all of the TV shows like that. Um, so so when you sit there and say, okay, your 8 o'clock time slot on Friday every single week is tied in, it's locked in. This is where you got to be. This time of this day of this week every week. I don't like that. I don't like being beholden to an idiot box. You know what I'm saying? But if you're going to be like, okay, here, watch them at your leisure. Now you got me. Now you got me. Yeah, I don't do the whole time clock thing. So there's that. Saying, I think the blonde's mom, sorry, I forgot her name. No worries. Her name is right down below, Laura Dean. The blonde's mom is pretty hot. Right? I think she's supposed to be, though, because she's supposed to be that extremely charismatic woman who just, like her voice and her face and her smile and everything about her just gets you to trust her. And then she, sacrifices you to a 6-fingered, 6-toed elder god. Yeah, that's the Gibberim. So many casuals can't Google the other sites. What do you got here? Occupy Games. What's up with these new prison movies? Hollywood Finding Stories, right? What was it for Prison Break or some of those other ones? Once those came out, that was like a big thing. Everybody was just a big thing. They even referenced that in here. Alex Wilder let Nico Minoru borrow Prison or Prison, whatever, some prison TV series, which I guess was supposed to be a reference to Prison Break or something like that. That I actually found that interesting. Doug, 2 explained in a minute in one day. No. That was yesterday I put it up, and then last Saturday I put it up. I just happen to have it up here. You just didn't notice that I put them up. No, I don't think I could do 2 in one day. That would murder me. Material in different mediums always changes, and when themes and sensibilities remain, that makes for good translations. I agree. They really did. That was actually something. Listen, when I put up this Saturday, when I put up my Spotlight on Story, it will be on the first 6 issues. So the first volume of the first volume of the Runaways, the volume called Pride and Joy. So that first 6-issue run, and I comment a little bit afterwards about some of the things that happened later on in the 18-issue run for that first total series volume. Yeah, that's going to go up on Saturday. And at the end, one of the things that I mentioned is that the only complaint I can really make about the Runaways comic book, the first volume, is that it's very dated. Certain expressions are given in there which are dated. There's a mention of Saddam Hussein hiding in a hole. Like, I'm sorry, kids today, I don't think are really going to get that reference. Like anything from 3 years ago aren't going to get that reference, really. If you didn't come of age within the last 3 years, or if you did within the last 3 years, you're not going to, I don't think you're going to get that reference at all. And there's a couple other things in there, a couple other sayings that are like, oh, wow, this takes me back, nostalgic. And if I'm feeling nostalgia, that means no young kid is going to read this comic and say, this is awesome. They're going to be like, yeah, it's a comic about kids and it feels dated, so it's not for me. If it's not relevant to you, you're not going to read it. So Brian K. Vaughan made one huge mistake in this in his first volume when he created the Avengers along with Adrian Alphona, is that you don't date your material. You don't put a timestamp on it, and this is very dated. Like you can carbon date this thing. So yeah, huge mistake they made in there, and I don't see that so far with the TV series. So there's that. Saying, I was hoping they would stab the sacrifices. Yeah, like in the comic, but it is what it is. See, I agree with you because that would have made more of an impact on the kids and whatnot, but I hear you. But this is something different, though. This is something different. Like Chase's dad lied to them. Oh yeah, this will work, even though he knew it wasn't going to work, that machine. So, and then at the very end of the third episode, when turns out she ends up on the beach dead, they're going to have a nice long conversation with Chase's dad. And it's not going to end well for Chase. I'm positive of this because now they have to do another sacrifice, and who knows if it's even going to work. This is supposed to be their last one before they get their rewards. Whew. Doug, it was a weird experience. I liked the characters, but the story was weak and crammed too much in. Really? You thought so? Oh, wait, I think you're still talking about Justice League. Saying Justice League is a 7.5 out of 10. A lot of people said 7. I said it's a 5, maybe a 6. That's the thing, though. Either way, no matter what everybody's saying, it's like, oh, no, it was good. It was a 7. Like, you're giving the highest grade I've seen of any of my friends, anybody who I know. A 7.5 is a C+. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not great. So people are like, oh, this was great. This was like a 7 out of 10. That's not great. That's a C. I don't know how you did in school, but I would never have accepted those grades, personally. All right? Whatever Doug says, whatever happened to the IDW Forgotten Realms comics? Is that ongoing? No. I did, however, find issue 1 not too long ago. Oh, wait, the IDW... I see what you're saying. Sorry. They didn't call it Forgotten Realms, even though it was in the Forgotten Realms. Sorry, my bad. They just called it Dungeons and Dragons, meaning Dungeons and Dragons Next, 5e, you know. Are they doing an arc Beyond the Giants? They have to. It was really good. I actually just got my hands on the Ravenloft one, where they go and they actually meet Strahd and they get a hold of that Cleric of Death who they're hanging out with. I didn't read it yet, but I was able to get my hands on it. So yay me. And there's one arc that happened before that, so I still have to try and find that one. And it is what it is. Doug says yes, he did mean Justice League. Okay, good. Yes, there was too much crammed in there, but hey, it wasn't as crammed as Batman vs Superman was, so there's that. But no, man, yeah, the series is still alive, and you know what? I'll talk to you about that when we meet for the Marvel Face Rip game in the on Mondays on the Nerdarchy channel. I had to cancel last Monday, guys. Was not feeling good. Just I'm like in a slump right now. I think I'm just working too hard, and like the family, my wife was just really sick last week, couldn't go to work the whole week, and I'm literally juggling everything. And I just, wow. And then just, yeah, the kids got sick. So yeah, things are moving. They're just not moving fast. Anyway, trying to keep my spirits up. So saying, I think Justice League should have been longer for the non-comics fans. I fangirled a lot in the theater, especially Booyah. See, I didn't like the Booyah. In fact, right before he said the Booyah, I literally thought to myself, don't say Booyah. Please don't let him say Booyah in this, because he's got this, literally, like this monotone, robotic type voice. Don't say, you're not going to do it right. Unless you're going to turn around and just be like, that was great. Guys, we just defeated this bad guy who nobody except for Professor Bill and a couple other diehard Jack Kirby fans know about. We kicked some butt. Booyah! That would have deserved. But when he just sat there and he goes, spoilers, and he just goes, booyah. I actually did facepalm in the theater. Oh, that was just horrible. That was horrible. To me, that was horrible. No. You can't just throw in a random booyah someplace. It's got to have some emphasis in it, all right? So, no, he was way too monotone. And let's be realistic. You know what? Like, Joss Whedon, this isn't supposed to be a Justice League thing. Guys, you know what? On Saturday, I'm actually going to be doing a lot of conversations about Justice League. I got Lewis from the Geek Fortress slated to come in. We're going to be talking via Skype, but we're going to be doing it live. We're going to be answering your questions and everything in the chat. And we're mostly my podcast on Saturday, on Saturday at 8 o'clock New York, Toronto time, is going to be all about the movie. I was not fond of it. Lewis loved it. We'll see. We'll see. We had a big turnout for the Batman vs Superman discussion, and we'll see. We'll see what's up. I think it's going to be fun. Raven, hey, you'd give it a 6 out of 10. Yeah, see, I said it's a 5 out of 10, and I could be talked into a 6 out of 10. If I get some concessions on the other end of certain things, I can say, good. If we concede certain things, and we say that this is, if we took this as somehow standalone, and we assume that mistakes were made in the previous movies that led up to this, which are, that's the thing. The Marvel movies, even though they're tied with each other, they're not inexorably tied to each other. You know what I'm saying? If I throw Doctor Strange at you, you're not going to look at this and say, I can't understand this because I didn't see the movies that came out before this. You will not say that. If I throw you Iron Man 3, you're not dependent on the first 2 Iron Man movies to understand what's going on. You're not. Even though Iron Man 3 was a pretty lousy movie. The idea is, like, you don't have to have watched these other movies to get what's going on. Even Captain America Civil War would probably be the worst one for that you'd have to have watched what happened beforehand to get an idea of what's going on. But realistically, not really. A very brief explanation just says, yeah, they've been gathering together, and if you watched Avengers 2, the events that led there lead to this. It's like, and that's really just explain why it's called the Sokovia Accords as opposed to, anything else. But even then, that thing happened in Sokovia. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not really that big of a deal. It's not that hard to look at Captain America's Civil War and say, yeah, some things could have been explained a little bit better, but I'm okay with this. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just saying that's only if you've never seen any other Marvel movie before, and Civil War is the first one that you walk into. You can still watch the movie and be okay with it. Forget about just the entertaining film, just the idea that you don't feel lost in it. If you send a group of people in to see it from all different ages and ethnicities and genders, whatever, and you send them in and say, sit down and watch this movie, and they've never watched anything else in the DCEU, they're going to come out and say, I don't get it. From the beginning to end, I don't get it. Why was Superman dead? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. And then if you show them the movie, like the Batman vs. Superman, it's like, they hated Superman, so why was he so important later on? Okay, this is just too confusing. That's the thing. That's why no, can't do it. Can't do it. Doug with some well wishes. Yeah, I hear you. Thank you, brother. Saying WB needs to stop effing up the theater versions of DCEU movies. Just let Zach and Joss do their thing. Jeez. See, that's the thing I was getting to. I think Joss is out. There was this big thing that, here's the thing about it, man. Like, this does, and I hope this doesn't happen with Marvel fans, but at the same time, if it does, I'll make fun of them just like I will the DC fans. Right now, DC fans flipped out. Okay? Social media is like, oh my God, it's all encompassing. Look, Joss Whedon was apparently looking at a bunch of people doing tweets about whatever, and somebody goes and makes this tweet and says Steppenwolf is the worst cinematic villain ever. I understand what this person is saying, because, let's be realistic, when you walk into that movie, Steppenwolf shows up. Who's Steppenwolf? No. Don't tell me you read The New Gods and you could tell me all about. I could do that. I'm putting The New Gods out of it. I'm putting all the stuff, I'm putting the comic books out of it. You walk in and see, this is the thing. As a fan, I can go in there and be like, okay, I know what's going on. He's obviously trying to get the mother box so he can transport everything over to Apocalypse and reunite and boom, 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 and all this other stuff. And Steppenwolf, that's the uncle of Darkseid. And wow, I'm good, dude. I did a explained in a minute for Steppenwolf. You might be able to find it below. Here's the problem: if you're not a DC fan, and I'm not even talking, like, even if you're a casual DC fan, you're probably not going to have any idea who Steppenwolf is. So this dude shows up, it's like, who's this big jabroni? Who's this big monotone-colored jabroni? Who is this guy with the little chicken giblets on his chin? Who is this guy? What's he trying to open a dimension gate to? What the hell? He means nothing to the DCEU. He means nothing unless you're already a comic book fan. That's troublesome. Sorry, that's troublesome. If you've got to go into a movie and you need an explanation, if you need Professor Bill to sit there and explain this movie in exasperating detail to you, the movie has failed. I'm more than happy to give you the explanation so you understand what's going on. You can enjoy what you can. But in my opinion, the movie has already failed. If you need some jabroni on YouTube to explain to you what just happened in that movie from beginning to end, that might have something to say about your storytelling. Nobody knows what the heck he was doing on there if you're not already an ingrained DC Comics fan. All right? Like me, like I imagine most of you guys. If you don't know the character already, you have no idea what Steppenwolf was doing there. Or why he's... Most people don't even know why he's given that stupid name. It's like, literally, what is this, Magic Carpet Ride? You know what I'm saying? Like that old band? Herman Hesse Who? So that's the thing about it. There was too much that you had to assume with the movie. And that's... Nobody likes to assume with a movie. You want to go in there, you want to actually enjoy the movie. So yeah, DC should stick to animated movies. No, I'm going to disagree with you, Raven. I think that instead they should be better. They should just be better. No, Doug. No, do not agree with Raven. Do not agree with Raven. DC, look... DC, look, just before Man of Steel came out, you had 3 amazing Batman movies. Well, 2, and then you had Dark Knight Rises, which was pretty good. But at the same time, Christopher Nolan was planning on doing a lot more with Heath Ledger. So, you know, last minute, that kind of sucks. That really sucks. But DC had the greatest movies. You're going to tell me that DC didn't have better movies than Marvel did at the time? First off, there was no MCU. All right? There's just some of the local stuff going on. And I'm talking way back, like Christopher Reeve. You know what I'm saying? Like, ever since the first movies, the serials, way back in black and white, in 12-part increments, back when the Three Stooges first came out. Way back when you had Batman and you had the 2 Superman movies. You know, the serials. Those were great. The Captain America one stunk. That sucked. So, like, DC's always been better. It's just this lately thing. The DCEU is rushed. Like I said, when Zack Snyder made Man of Steel, it was okay. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. But then after it's already made, we've already seen it in theaters, and then people turn around and they're like, we're going to make an ECU too. We're going to make a cinematic universe. And you've technically already seen the first part, because we're going to say Man of Steel was the first part. Yeah. You just made that up. You literally, like, you guys just came out of the meeting, and then you made this press release. You just admitted it. You can't do that. Marvel planned the heck out of this. And even then, they're only connecting it in after-credit scenes. Just, horrible. Horrible! They need to do a better job. Sayed, I think the DCEU can thrive if the upcoming movies have more impact. I like Ben Affleck. I like Ben Affleck as Batman too. And guess what? Ben Affleck goes on and says, I'm done with this crap. I'm done. I'm not going to be in these upcoming the Batman movies, this trilogy they're going to do. I'm done. I'm pulling out. I'm gone. Holy crap. That would be like Robert Downey Jr. saying, they've messed up these movies so bad, I'm out. Could the MCU survive if Robert Downey Jr. just automatically said, I'm out, I'm pulling out? Maybe, because they're really well established. But the DCEU, I don't know that it can. I don't know that it can. I mean, the whole reason why they're not getting rid of it is because they want to keep... It's like a bad car. They bought a bad car, and they just want to keep on driving it and keep on trying to repair and fix and switch out parts and things like that. Dude, at some point, admit that it's a lemon. It's going to keep on breaking. You can just reboot, and you can use the same characters. I don't think they need to reuse Gal Gadot, personally. The only one I want to see them save is Affleck and Cavill. You know, like, Henry Cavill is an amazing Superman. Now, if only he were given a good Superman role. You know, there's that. They need to stop lashing on to this New 52 universe. Like, the DCEU doesn't get it. We don't like, on average, the consensus is in, and we have agreed that the DCEU would do better if they just dropped this failed New 52 thing. The New 52 was rushed Just like the DCEU was rushed. It was literally like Jeff Johns did the Flashpoint. It's like, yeah, it's a good story, right? And then DC Universe said, we can make this into a Crisis. He's like, wait, what? They're like, yeah, no, we could reboot the entire universe and do a bunch of issue 1s based off of this story you just did. And he's like, you could, but please don't. They said, yeah, we're not listening to you anymore. Guys, refresh. We're going to do this new universe. Hey, let's call it the New 52, because there's going to be 52 different comic books out. And then we'll give some other reason why it's called 52. 52 universes? Yeah, sure, go with that. It was rushed. This was rushed. Anything in life that you do that you have to rush for is not worth doing. Ask your girlfriends. Okay, so Justice League War was, oh yes, Raven. Justice League War was amazing. I loved that. I've actually got I was looking at the DVD yesterday or the day before, and I'm like, I should watch this. Agreed. Rises was trash. I don't think it was trash, but it was definitely trashed. Hey, chat, what else can we derail Professor Bill with? Saying, what the hell else is Ben Affleck going to do? He's in. Yeah. I don't know. I think he's just... You know what? Like, here's the thing. Ben Affleck's favorite character is Batman. Imagine that. And he doesn't want to do Batman a disservice. You know what I'm saying? He wants to make sure, like, if he's going to do Batman, he wants to be the definitive Batman. And right now, my opinion, he absolutely is. He absolutely is. So he's made it. So if he pulls out now, it's everybody else's fault for screwing up. It's somebody else's fault for not living up to that, you know, that standard that he was able to make it. And that's that. Like, he looks like Bruce Wayne. He acts like Bruce Wayne. He looks like Batman. He acts like Batman. In my opinion, he's the perfect them. You know, because, like, let's be realistic. A lot of people, they can pull off Bruce, they can't pull off Batman, and then vice versa, you know? He pulls off both expertly, perfectly. In my opinion, he's the definitive Batman. Okay, Kevin Conroy for the voice, but I don't want to see him strapping on the tights. I just don't think that's going to work. But Ben Affleck, man, he even gets the voice down as far as I'm concerned. I think he is literally, like, the too legit to quit Batman, and yet he's quitting anyway. Because he doesn't want to be involved in a bunch of messy movies that they just can't get things straight. Anyway, so Joss Whedon, he goes and does that tweet, and then they take him off of Batgirl. The only reason why he came to Warner Brothers was to do Batgirl, and now they took him off of Batgirl. They actually took him off his pet project. They didn't announce that he's going to be on something else instead. They simply took him off because he liked a tweet that said that Steppenwolf was the worst DC villain ever. Wow. Really? A lot of people have been hating on Zach for the longest time. And then Joss goes and does a simple like on a slightly out of context, derisive tweet. And all of a sudden he's out. I can't, maybe that's not the reason why he's out. But they took him out. He didn't bow out. He was taken out. And without them giving a press release, any kind of acknowledgement, whatever, what else am I going to go by except what makes sense? So, yeah, they're messing with them. They're messing with all of us somehow. I don't know why they're 52 decks cards in a deck of cards. Batman Who Laughs. Nice, nice one, Raven. And of course, my water's out in the living room. Okay. Make yourself well. Make yourself well. If anybody can remember what movie that's from, you're awesome. Gal Gadot is my wife, you uncultured. Look, I've said it before. Go and check out everything I've ever said about Gal Gadot. Gal Gadot is gorgeous. She's gorgeous and she looks like Wonder Woman. But you know what? That's called fan casting. That's when fans who don't know anything about actual casting, about, you know, can this person act? You know what I'm saying? Can this person really fit this role well? No. Fans simply goes, who looks like this person? Gal Gadot looks like Wonder Woman. And I didn't think she was going to. You know what I'm saying? I was one of those people who were like, yeah, I don't think she's going to. She's way too thin. Wonder Woman has to have broader shoulders. She has to actually look like she can beat up Superman. But she looks the role very well. Oh my God, she looks great. and she's a gorgeous woman. But aside from that, I liken Gal Gadot to Melania Trump. She doesn't have any acting skills whatsoever. Okay, I made the point in the Wonder Woman movie. That scene, that lovable scene where that one guy who is supposed to be the sniper, but he freezes, you know what I'm saying? He gets nervous and whatnot, and he's like, I feel, I'm just so bad. And Steve Trevor and the other guy and the native dude, like everybody's sitting there talking to him. No, you're good. Just don't worry about that. Hey, we brought you along anyway because we love you, man. You're awesome. And they're having a great moment. And what happens at the very end of this excellent scene? That's when Gal Gadot shows up at the very last moment and says, "But Charlie, who else will sing for us?" And it was one of those moments where it's like, oh, Gal, you really brought it. But guess what? That wasn't Gal. That wasn't Gal Gadot. You know who that actually was? Patty Jenkins. No, she didn't take up the role and put it. No, the director. She knew that Gal couldn't hold a scene on her own. She couldn't. So she made this incredible scene that absolutely did not involve Gal except to stand there and look pretty and go, they're talking, look over here. He's talking, look over here. He's talking, look over here. Oh, crap, no, he's talking. I should look at him. And then, oh, here's my scene at the end. And I wonder how many reshoots that took, honestly. So just at the very end, look, she's beautiful, all right? And your wife is beautiful, but she can't act. All right? She can't act. So I hear you, brother. I hear you, but what do you call it? And culture. No one would ever consider to call me culture, so I don't take that as an insult. Doug, go full Kirby in the films, right? Why not? They kind of went full Kirby for the look in the Thor Ragnarok movie, and that turned out great. So you might be onto something. You go with what works, man. Doug also says, I think if they get another storyteller in there, they can turn things around. The actors are good, the material isn't. I just spoke. Plus, Jason Momoa really looks the part also, but at the same time, that wasn't Aquaman. That was Aqua Dude. He's all, hanged head, man. Huh, bad costume. Huh, cool. And expletives all over the place. Like, I'm sorry, dude. Watch your potty mouth, and you're supposed to be the freaking king of Atlantis. Arthur Curry is brilliant. He's extremely intelligent. Jason Momoa is a surfer. Or Khal Drogo. Or Conan, but he's not Aquaman. He's Aqua Dude. He looked the part. He looked, even without the blonde hair, just the blonde highlights. He looked great. I'm not gonna lie, dude. My wife just 2 days ago, she was like, "Oh, so yeah, thinking about going to see Justice League." Like, by yourself, I guess. She's like, "Yeah, if that's okay with you." I was like, "Yeah, sure." Why? Did you hear good things about it? I didn't like it. Did you not see my spoiler and non-spoiler reviews? She's like, no, I don't watch your videos. No, of course she doesn't. She's like, but I kind of want to see Jason Momoa. It's like, babe, can I just download some pictures for you? I'll even download you some fake nude pictures if you want. You know what I'm saying? She's like, ew, no. He's sexy like a good pair of heels. I'm like, then can I just buy you a new pair of heels? Because seriously, like, the movie's not worth it. All right? It's not worth it. Yeah, he looks great. And of course, he's got the women rubbing their legs like a cricket. Damn it, he almost stole my wife. Crying out loud. Anyway, but like, he didn't really act like Aquaman. I've never seen Aquaman act like that. Even in Sword of Atlantis, where he was barely in it. He was a water god. He was a new version of Poseidon. That wasn't him. That wasn't him. Rebirth is so good. Yes, Saiyan. It's really good. I love Rebirth. Like it literally rebirthed the DC universe. It was better than New 52. I told someone at work to read Rebirth. Rebirth, Batman Who Laughs was awesome. Sorry, that wasn't funny. Doug, there was a sexual misconduct allegation against him too, right? Who, against Jason Momoa? I don't. Who are you talking about? And then Doug also says she can bang her wrists together a lot, though. Yeah, so you saw that. Yeah, 6 times at least. I started counting at one point. 6 times. Boom! Like that. And she really put her heart into it. Dude, enough. Joss Whedon. No, there were no sexual allegations against Joss Whedon. He committed adultery. a lot. And his wife just gets up, and it was right after she found out about it. She goes online. She's like, he gets all these awards for women's rights and for helping women out and women's lib and the feminist movement and blah, 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 blah. But he cheated on me, so I don't see how good he could be to women. One thing legitimately has nothing to do with the other. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. So there's that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody once commented to Daniel Bryan that he's not a real vegan because his WWE Heavyweight Championship title belt that he had back in the day was made out of leather. Like, shut up, man. Just shut up. For crying out loud. Like he's going to turn around and be like, okay, man, listen, Vince McMahon, I need you to take this leather belt out and I need you to make me a brand new belt made out of hemp. Like, dude, come on. It's not going to happen. So, yeah. Just whatever. No, he cheated on his wife a lot, ever since Buffy, all throughout. But no one has come forth and given an allegation of rape or anything like that with him. So, yeah. Just... it's a shame, like how bad it is in Hollywood right now, just all over the place, that I have to actually say, no, it was just adultery, right? Ugh. Saying, actually, my celebrity wife is Demi Lovato. Sorry, not sorry. Well, oh, dude, so, like, are you doing a Mormon Muslim thing where you got, like, more than one wife? Because I'm just saying. Anyway, okay, so I've reached the end of the comments, and I'm going to back out before, and I know Doug's probably going to be like, attack with the comments. But no, seriously, I'm going to go. I got some more comics to read. I don't think I'm going to sleep tonight. We'll see. Yeah, so I'm going to go read a couple more comics, put out just so I have the reviews so I can edit them and put them out, because I can't actually record during the day because kids. I'll be like, so I was reading Superman today and Daddy, he hit me. Stop it. Anyway, no, I can't do that. That's why I do everything at night. All right, guys, I got to go. Now I got to finish Megan's article. Oh, sweet. Another, guys, check out nerdarchy.com. A whole bunch of good articles up there. And I think you're also mentioning that because I haven't put out my article for the week. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I've been a bad boy. I'll get to it. All right, guys. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.